Thank you all for being here. I'll call the Committee of the Human Services Committee, the meeting of the Human Services Committee to order. Please call the roll, Karen.
Chair Swarzy.
Here.
Member Childress.
Yes.
Member Garcia. Here. Member Desart. Here. Member Glassy. Here. Member LaPlante. Here.
Hey, everybody's here. Great. Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Okay, I have a few things that I'd like to share with this committee. You guys may be aware that West Chicago, one of the apartment complexes in West Chicago, had a big fire last Saturday morning. This is the second fire in a year in this complex, and this in particular fire displaced close to 100 people. All 24 units in the building are uninhabitable. Senator Karina Villa out of West Chicago has led a coordination to help those in need. And then our part, DuPage County, we have our Office of Homeland Security Emergency Management very involved, as well as our community services. So we've been working, we've had multiple Zoom meetings. Myself, the District 6 electeds, myself, Jim Zay, and Sheila Relich have been involved in every single Zoom meeting, and we'll continue to monitor this closely. I know tomorrow is a resource event at St. Andrew's Church in West Chicago, in which our community services will be there with bilingual staff, letting them know all the things that we have available to them. With regards to this committee itself, I have let the group that's involved know that we may have funds available for food. They haven't asked us yet. That we would need to know exactly what is needed before we could, approve anything, and it'd have to go through finance. But I have made the players know that we may have some money for food. So.
Do you have any special connections, maybe through Loaves and Fishes or any other food pantries that may be able to direct some of that food directly to them, number one? And number two, do we have is this the second time that there's been a fire in this property? Has the ownership been kind of advised, or are they funded by, is it a project-based development, or is it a sole ownership type of?
Strictly a private owner.
Private owner, no federal funds, no state funds or anything like that, no subsidies?
No, and it's City of West Chicago, so it would be their jurisdiction in terms of code enforcement or anything like that. In terms of food, the People's Resource Center has a large food pantry in West Chicago, and I know they're involved in the coordination. I think is it the Salvation Army who's currently feeding?
Yeah, I think I remember seeing blankets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, John, sorry.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a news junkie, so I saw on the news the owner of the building weeping, and they said that they've lost everything. Some of the families have lost everything. They've just left the clothes on their back. So in addition to food, is there any resource to provide clothing, toys?
There's so We Go Together for Kids, which is sort of an organization affiliated with Metropolitan Family Services.
We Go Together for Kids?
Yeah, they took up specific clothing donations this weekend. They're not accepting clothing anymore. They had very specific codes, particular shoe sizes. So that's done, but they are collecting financial contributions.
What about the adults? Clothes for the adults?
Yeah, the adults were included, all included.
Thank you.
Yes. And then, Gina, do you want to talk about what we may be able to do with CSBG?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is they're assessing each of the households that was affected. So once we find out what they need housing wise, we can potentially assist with security deposit, first month's rent, and furniture for them.
Nice.
However, we have to assess A, if they have insurance, B, where they can go. We can't support them if they go to another county, but we do have an avenue for that. So we're looking at
The other issue
is the
is
Red Cross still involved?
yes.
Yeah. And there will be a multi-agency resource center, I think it's called. That's tomorrow,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
All
10
of
to
the-
6.
Yeah, we'll have staff there for all 3 shifts.
Where?
St. Andrews.
St.
Oh,
Andrews.
St. Andrews.
all the staff that we're sending, well, the 6 staff that we're sending, 5 are bilingual Spanish speaking, so that will be helpful. Oh, so what the CSBG funds can be used for is security deposit rentals, so to set them up in a new unit. The challenge is finding units, particularly 3 and 4 bedrooms, 3 or 4 bedroom units that are sort of, located somewhat nearby, so the kids can stay. I mean, the kids can always remain at their school, but clearly, yeah, transportation becomes a challenge, so.
You just said 12 to 6.
12,
10 till 6.
10 to 6, 10 to 6.
Could you keep us posted on how we can help, resources we can help? I'm thinking things that we might not cover, like toys, like, things for the kids, that boots, hats, gloves.
I thought there was, there's a very widely coordinated effort. There are multiple agencies involved.
Puente del,
Yeah.
they have two parties.
Puente de Pueblo
Puerto del Pueblo.
is a branch of Wheaton Bible Church,
Oh,
and they are, I believe they are providing toys for the kids, right?
Christmas party.
Yeah, Christmas party.
ICNA Relief is involved, St. Vincent de Paul, the American Red Cross, of course, Catholic Charities. These are just some of the few. Our animal services is involved with, people's pets, and they've actually stopped accepting pet food because they have more than they need. So it's been a coordinated effort for
So
sure.
who's the main person to contact? The main organization to contact? The Red Cross? Because you just mentioned a lot of different resources, which is wonderful, but is there one entity in charge of this?
I mean, the Red Cross is running the shelter. The Wheaton, or the West Chicago Police Department has been heavily, I don't know that there's a primary contact. It's a multi-agency response.
Thank you.
So in environmental committee, we were having the same discussion, and they were going to send out an update. I believe it'll be later today, but for sure tomorrow, they're going to go over and take an inventory of needs and then let us know. Like, for example, we're good on coats, we're good on clothes, but we need fill in the blank. So she said she would share that with us, and so I could just ask her to share it. Kay from Scarce was gonna give it to me, but anything through environmental, but I could just ask them to send it to the
That'd be
whole board.
great. That would be
And then that'll
wonderful.
be an updated list, because I think they're having the meeting, I believe is tomorrow. And like between the different,
The multi-agency,
Yeah,
the resource
multi-agency.
center for families, so they'll be doing assessments for each
Exactly.
family.
yeah,
So, right, because the last thing you want is people just
exactly,
sort of
dumping.
bringing resources,
Right.
right? That's why they stopped collecting clothes once they had, I think they had gotten adequate response, and they're looking more for financial donations through We Go Together.
Right, so she said that by tomorrow, through the interagency, assessment, we should have a much clearer picture of actual real-time needs.
Right.
And then we can all share that.
Yeah, the long-term needs is housing, is
Sure.
finding units. That's gonna be a real challenge.
And last year's fire, which happened right around the same time, that building is still not even back in service, but it's very close. So, here we go again, so to speak. But
Yeah.
Kind of piggybacking on Patty's question, have they determined a cause for the 2 fires? It just seems odd that, a fire like this would happen in the same location.
it
twice.
sounds like it started in a bedroom closet, but I haven't personally followed up with the fire district, but I will. They do have, someone asked me, is this a concern? West Chicago is a professional fire department with professional inspectors, and apartments get inspected at least once a year, if not twice a year. So, I wouldn't necessarily think this is just coming from me as a retired firefighter with no facts, but I would make an assumption that the building met all the requirements through their annual inspections. So, yes.
Do we happen to know what their rental rates were? Were they market rate? Or, because if there's, units available, obviously, then people can provide that information to the organizations that are seeking locations for individuals. If it's market rate, or if it's like, maybe it's, there, it's not section 8 though, right?
It is
It's strictly market
private
rate then.
ownership. There may,
Yeah.
I don't know if there are more tenants who have vouchers or not. I
Okay,
tend to think not.
okay.
So it's strict, so I know I assume it's on the lower end of the rental scale, but it is not subsidized housing in any form.
All right.
And as far as insurance goes, I believe that what's inside of an apartment is typically the responsibility of the renter.
Renter's insurance.
So
yeah.
is there like an umbrella policy from the owner of the building that covers anything for these families? Or not?
I don't know, but I would assume no.
I think it depends on the sophistication of the owner too. If they're just a mom and pop, just owning an apartment building, they're not gonna have an umbrella. But if they're a multi-unit developer, they're gonna have it, so.
Some landlords require rental insurance, and some don't. So that's one of the assessments that you'll find out if families have renters insurance or not.
Remember you.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. So when in District 2, there was a fire at Oak Brook Terrace, they actually did these small loans that they gave out, especially to those people who do not have renters insurance. Do you happen to know if that's going to be something that they're offering?
I believe that was probably through FEMA.
Yes,
Right.
I think it was through FEMA.
Right, so that would be a Craig question, but, and it probably would come a little bit down. That apartment complex in, was it Oak Brook or Oak Brook Terrace? I don't recall. That was a much higher end. And so we were not able to use any CSBG funds because none of I think there was one household that was CSBG eligible. Yeah.
And just as a reminder, in 2022, we were able to use about $79,000 or $80,000 of CSBG funds. I believe went to
Ended up being a little lot less.
a little less than that. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Community Services, for your help in this. For sure.
I especially want to thank Lisa Hamilton, who's been on all of these calls and has
Thank
been coordinating our response.
So meeting on January 2nd, we are, I've talked to Mary, I've talked to Janelle, and we are not going to hold a January 2nd meeting for Human Services. With that being said, and I don't want to step on a member LaPlante's toes, but it sounds like our CDC meeting still needs to take place, and I'll defer, okay.
Correct.
So that, for those of you on CDC, Michael, Ina, Patty and myself and Lynn, of course, and then Brian Krajewski. So even if all our other meetings are canceled, I will be here at 11:30 for CDC.
Thank you. So will I.
Yes, okay. So
We'll see how many Zoom in.
say it again.
How many people Zoom in?
Yeah.
Well,
New Year's
can I just
Eve.
comment on that? So the CDC is a 12-person committee, so we need 7. So in order to have quorum, we need 7 physically present.
Okay.
We have 2 municipal members who definitely can make it. So I really need 5 board members. I know all the other committees are canceling, and if we had to cancel CDC, we would have no other choice. However, the January meeting is the biggest meeting of the year of the Community Development Commission Executive Committee. It's when we approve the projects for the following year. And so I would really ask that the CDC members, if you can't make it, if you're physically going to be out of town, please let me know as soon as possible. We may have to pull other board members in to make a quorum, but we really need to hold that meeting, so.
I'll bake a cake.
Well, I think you've closed the deal now.
Yeah, there we go.
So, but if you are on CDC and you know that you can't make it, please let me know. If you aren't on CDC and are
She just volunteered.
great,
Yay.
great. So we can make you a member for purposes of quorum. That would be really
If you don't have a
helpful.
quorum, give me a call.
Okay,
Email me.
Okay.
So I won't come unless I hear from you.
okay.
Thank you.
So Julie, can you have Marge just get a solid confirmation from board members? Great, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mary.
Julie really appreciates it.
I really do.
So do I.
And finally, I want to wish everybody happy holidays. And both on our committee and with our staff, you know, you guys know how I feel about this committee. I think it's the most important committee in DuPage County. I mean, the wonderful things we've got to do, we've had the opportunity to do this year is second to none. And just thank you for all your hard work this year. And thank you for all your hard work this year. So very appreciative. With that being said, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes, item 2453, the Human Services Committee regular meeting from November 21st, 2023. We have a motion, a second. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Now we get to recognize another length of service award. This is wonderful, wonderful. Lisa Gonzalez, 15 years. So I will have her come up along with.
Billy and Lisa are coming up too, both Lisas. So Lisa Gonzalez is in our information and referral division. She's been here for 15 years. She was in this, what was called Seniors INA back when she started. And then, boys, 5-6 years ago, we combined all of our information and referral. We used to have INR for basically INR for seniors and INR for non-seniors. We consolidated it to really be able to cross-train and provide assistance to multi-generational households. Lisa is incredibly knowledgeable, particularly around the area of all of the services and resources for seniors. She's a real resource in the INR division. And I'm gonna let Gina speak now.
So I want to tell you that this lovely woman is our expert on SHIP, which is our senior health insurance program. So
Also known as Medicare.
Medicare, exactly. And we rely on her almost every day during open enrollment to help our seniors and some of our non-seniors who are on Medicare to choose their plans and to help them through the process. And we really appreciate her hard work on that. And I don't know what we would really do without her and our outreach work on that. And our elder abuse calls in the back of the days, now they're called APS, Adult Protective Services calls. She's one of our troopers on that line. And, you know, we really appreciate your hard work, Lisa, and we recognize your 15 years and we're so glad to have you. And I'm so glad to have you.
Well, let's let Millie or Lisa. say
Oh, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Well, I'll add in that Lisa's also been instrumental. We've just recently trained a whole bunch of SHIP counselors, and so she's also been a huge mentor to them as well. Learning Medicare is, it takes a long time. It's a week-long training, and then it's a continuing learning process. So she's been a huge mentor to our new staff as well. So we appreciate that as well.
I haven't been here as long, but I have heard great things about Lisa. I know that she always goes above and beyond with her calls. I've seen that myself, but I also got huge compliments from Joan in Housing and FSS about Lisa and the wonderful work that she did with clients that were seniors and homeless a while back when we were doing a project for that. So she deserves a lot of recognition for that.
Okay, well, I had the opportunity to work with different groups in community services, so I felt privileged to work with some amazing coworkers. I had opportunities with some of my supervisors to talk about improvements and work and flourish on some improvements that I had. And I'm grateful to be able to use some of my skills and to learn from others here too. And for those 380 paychecks too. Thank you.
Before we take the pictures, we're in the pictures. Any comments? Yes.
I just want to add that I have two senior parents. My parents are seniors and I'm trying to deal with them on different things that I'm sure the ins and outs of Medicaid are very complex. And I'm sure that you have the level of patience that many don't, because I have a really difficult time dealing with my parents on some issues. And so thank you for taking that care for our seniors.
Yeah, some of those SHIP appointments, they'll go on for 2 or 3 more hours. It's incredibly complex, and it's,
seeing that look of recognition and understanding is the best, you know, because it's complicated. And I tell people, you know, bring in your adult, you know, children, because it's good for everyone to have some kind of education on it. Pardon?
That's a good idea,
Yes.
thanks.
Anyone else? Can we get a picture? About right there. Right up against the wall here is perfect. All, everybody, all the members have come up and staff.
Just go
Lisa,
over.
scoot up just a little, staff scoot up, and then we'll squeeze in behind.
I feel like we're.
You guys all squeeze in?
Oh, yes.
Hold on, Lucy, get in here.
Hold on,
Hold
wait.
on, Karen.
Come on. Going around the other.
There we go.
Oh. Hey, Lisa.
Lisa.
I think I got too much of the ceiling. I shouldn't have any of the ceiling in there. Okay. Camera back on. I should know it was just like mine.
Those are the grandkids. Can you see that? They're happy to see me. I'll share this with everybody too.
Boy, it's much smaller picture.
Thank you. Thanks again. Congrats, Lisa.
Christmas. I don't know if I need it now.
Should always do one. Okay. Okay, all right. On to item 7 under community services. I'll take a motion to approve item FIR 124, acceptance and appropriation of additional funding for the Illinois Department of Human Services supporting housing grant plan year 24 from the amount of $137,747 to $154,180, an increase of $16,433. We have a motion and a second. Questions? Okay. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSP 324, awarding resolution issued to Optimum Management Resources to provide technical assistance and consultation services to the DuPage County Homeless Continuum of Care for community services for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2024 for a contract total amount not to exceed $34,860. We do have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Onto the DuPage Care Center. I'll take a motion to approve item FIR 424, acceptance and appropriation of the DuPage Care Center Foundation Coordinator Grant for Plan Year 24 in the amount of $30,128. We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item FIR 524, acceptance of an extension of the DuPage Care Center Foundation Coordinator Grant Plan Year 23 to January 31st, 24. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSP 124, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Professional Medical and Surgical Supply to furnish and deliver examination gloves for the DuPage Care Center for the period January 1st, 24 through December 31st, 24, for a total contract not to exceed $63,380.10. Have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Take a motion to approve item HSP 224, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Music Speaks LLC for music therapy services for the residents at the DuPage Care Center for the period January 12th, 24 through January 11th of 25 for a contract total not to exceed $58,701. We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And then I'll take a motion to receive and place on file item 2454 to DuPage Care Center Foundation Coordinator Grant Plan Year in the amount of $30,128.
Second.
Motion and second, questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. We do not have any residency waivers. I know Janelle is ill today, so I think Christine is on the TV for an update on it.
Actually, Janelle's going to go ahead and give a report.
Oh.
Christine's there in case you had questions on some other items, but I'm able to give you a report today.
Okay, thank you.
We have one unit that is on outbreak, 3 center. That was one case, so that puts us in an outbreak status. We are testing staff and residents and all are negative at this time, so that's good news. The employee breakfast is Wednesday, December 20th from 6:30 to 9:30. So if any of you would like to help serve our staff, please report over to the care center anytime during that time, and we'll find a spot for you to assist. We really appreciate your assistance with the employee breakfast. And the third item, I had a presentation ready to present today for the construction update. I want to wait for one more slide, and that would be when the resident cabinetry is installed, and that should be installed in the next week or two. So the next meeting I'll have it's just more impactful, I think. So I'll have another slide put in and we'll present it next meeting.
Okay, questions from member Dessart?
Janelle, thank you for the information. I didn't write it down fast enough. Wednesday, December 20th is Care Center employee breakfast. What time should we be there? What times?
It starts at 6:30 and goes to 9:30, and the staff just funnel through as they're able. So you can come anytime that you're able.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other questions for Janelle? Thank you very much, Janelle.
Thank
Thank you for all you've done this year, and you have a wonderful holiday.
Oh, thank you. You as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, on to community services update, Mary Keaton.
Well, I was gonna talk about the West Chicago fire, but I think we've talked about that quite a bit. I also don't know, have I mentioned to this committee about Julie Hamlin's promotion? I don't think I have. So Julie Hamlin has been promoted to Administrator of Community Development. Julie's also Joe Hamlin is lucky enough to be married to Julie Hamlin. Secret's out. Julie's just a tremendous asset to the county, to the department. Julie is also taking leadership positions at a national level. She just joined the board of the National Association for County Community and Economic Development. Prior to that, she was their education committee chair. So she really has sort of embraced the mission of the work that's done through community development. So Julie's just a great team member, and I'm just so pleased to see her working up the management ladder. So congratulations, Julie. The other thing I just wanted to mention, I think I mentioned a couple of months ago that we are finally getting some money through the state for 211. We got one of the agreements yesterday, so we're going to take it directly to finance and board next week. Typically, an acceptance and appropriation would come through human services, but with the holiday gap, we wanted to make sure that we got it on the books. There's 2 agreements. The first one is for about $90,000. The second one is for $102,000. Similar uses for both, but we'll be able to really beef up our marketing, which I'm really pleased about. We also intend to do 211 texting. We can use some of the money for some of that. So you'll see that on, hopefully you'll see that on finance board next week. And that's all I have.
Great. Questions for Mary? Thank you very much, and thank you for all you've done this year. I mean, we do it every year, but it doesn't go unnoticed. So
Thanks.
thank you. Thank
I
you.
also got 26 paychecks, so.
Do we have any old business? Seeing none, do we have any new business? All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Thank you guys very much.